Welcome to one of the most important tools that you will use as a real estate agent, the buyer's estimated closing cost sheet. I know it might look a little intimidating at first, but I promise by the end of this video, you will be able to feel completely confident walking the buyer through every single line and, of course, completing what is required of you. So let's discuss the top section. This is the buyer and property information. The buyer's name will appear as exactly as it will on the agreement of sale and how they are going to take deed. The property address, this is the address of the home that they are purchasing. The purchase price, this is the agreed upon sales price from the agreement of sale. And of course, the settlement date as it appears in the agreement of sale as well. Well, why not start at the top? The first is going to be the title and settlement charges. The title's insurance or the lender's policy. This is a protects the lender in case any title issues arise after closing. This is almost always required by the lender. How do you get this number? You'll hop into the CLE team dashboard and look under title insurance. And according to the chart, based on the purchase price of the property that is being offered, you'll go ahead and look for the enhanced version or the standard and input that information. And of course, we make it very easy for you. A lot of these prepaids are also going to be, or the settlement charges will already be inputted into the buyer's estimated closing costs. That's going to include the closing protection letter, the title endorsements, the settlement notary fees, the recording fees. The next line is where you need to input the transfer tax information, 1%, unless it's been agreed upon that somebody else is either going to pay the full thing or that the buyer will pay both sides of the transfer tax. The Patriot Act fee is included as well. And lastly, if there is an additional transfer tax, again, check the charts to make sure that you don't have to add an additional transfer tax. If your buyer is paying the broker's fee, don't forget to include that as well. Next, we have the homeowner's insurance premium. Lenders are going to typically require the first year of the homeowner's insurance to be paid in full at closing. So we put in there an estimated cost of about $1,000. Lender's escrow, this is set up for taxes and insurance. The lender will collect several months of property taxes and insurance up front to fund the escrow account. This is usually 2 to 3 months worth of each. So, and again, we already kind of have an estimated amount for that filled in. Your adjustments are in the next section. That would be your tax prorations, the school taxes, the county taxes, and your municipal taxes. Depending on the closing date, the seller may owe the buyer a credit for the property taxes that were already accrued but not yet paid. So you might want to go ahead and consider using a tax proration calculator, or you can be a little savvy and make sure your prompts are correct when using AI in order to estimate the taxes. Section 5 includes some of the inspection fees that will be payable by the buyer. Remember, they are expected, if they elect to have inspections, to have some money in hand. The property inspections, the wood infestation inspection, the radon inspection, and if there is an on-lot sewer inspection, you might want to add that in there as well. Section 6 is going to include some of your lender charges. This will include the fee charged as a percentage. And again, these are all estimated, but at least you have a starting point here. The appraisal report, this could be higher, it could be lower. The preparation of the mortgage documents are also in there, and some miscellaneous fees. If your buyer elects to purchase a home warranty, again, put that in there because that will be paid at closing. And when your buyer elects to use Connect Closing, that's already inputted in there as a $495 charge. So as you can see along that first column, the total estimated closing cost should be at least minimum of $5,000. Any other additional charges are going to increase that amount at the bottom. So it gets pre-populated. If the buyer is taking out a mortgage, it would be wise to fill out as much information as you know possible on the right-hand column when it comes to the first mortgage, the estimated monthly payments, so that they're aware of the cost as well. And that'll go ahead and add up all of that information. The bottom portion of that right-hand column is going to have the total monies needed based on the purchase price, the estimated costs, and it's going to add up to determine how much cash is going to be required from the buyer at closing. And of course, if there's going to be any seller's assist, and if there is an escrow deposit, make sure that you subtract that out of the cash in hand needed, because again, the earnest money deposit is going to be applied to the closing costs at the closing table. And then you should have the balance that is due at settlement, reminding the buyers that this is an estimation. Some of these figures can be up or down, but be as accurate as possible when it comes to helping your buyers understand how much money is going to be needed at the closing table. Again, some important reminders. Always review the sheet together with your buyer. Never just email it, or never just give it to them without walking them through it line by line. If they're writing multiple offers, they're going to have a pretty good idea of what the estimated closing sheet is going to look like after the first or second offer. Encourage your buyer to compare this sheet with their loan estimate from the lender to see where everything lines up. Again, you should be pretty close to the loan estimate. Always update the sheet if the purchase price with closing date or the seller assist changes during the transaction, or even if there is a negotiation to get your offer accepted, make sure that you adjust the buyer's estimated closing costs as well. And that's it. The Pennsylvania buyer's estimated closing cost sheet from top to bottom, all within 10 minutes again. The more you walk your buyers through this sheet, the more natural it will become. And remember, your ability to clearly explain the closing costs is going to build trust with your clients. They're going to feel confident working with you. It's one of the most powerful things that you could do to set yourself apart as an agent. So again, very simple. Just take it line by line. You've got this. And as always, if you ever have questions or want to practice walking through the sheet together, I'm always here. Let's go help some buyers get to the closing table.